It's a lot easier now after 10 months and over 12,000 miles to know what are really the top features you couldn't live without. Well, hey folks, it has been a while. Lots going on in the Can-Am Tesla fam. Gotta get something shorter than that. Yeah, no, I want to make another video. It's been over 3 months. A lot has been going on here for us. Been a couple vacations. I've been to Vegas. My wife and I went on our first trip without the kids on a cruise. And now we've come back home here in Canada to the news that we have finally been approved for an interview at the US consulate. We are planning and hoping to move to the US at some point. And so that's kind of why we haven't had a video in a while. There's a lot going on. I came out today to wash the car. It is pretty filthy. So like this is no good. I also got a great Christmas present last Christmas that I still haven't used. It is a trim ceramic coat. It's the same maker that makes a ceramic coat that I used for the interior on the white seats, but this is specifically for the black trim areas of the car. I talked about it before in another video and it's taken me forever, but all the trim around the wheel wells, along the bottom of the car, and most notably right here. And what this will hopefully do is add a bit of a ceramic hydrophobic layer to that trim, which will hopefully keep it looking kind of brighter and fresher and cleaner a little bit longer in between washes. So I'm hoping to put that on today as well. So anyway, the whole purpose of the video today was to do a 10,000 mile review. We are well past 10,000 miles now. We're over 12,514 miles on the car. As a reminder, got the car in November of 2020. It is a 2021 long range Model Y. Just as a quick review, things that I've done to the car, mainly the Stealth PPF film that's all over the car, blacked out the badges. More recently, since I've done the video, we did get the OEM Tesla mud flaps, which for the $50 that they cost, definitely recommend you get the mud flaps. If you don't have PPF on your whole car, it's also going to protect that back quarter panel quite a bit. One other minor thing I did to the back, because the silver license plate mount was kind of driving me nuts, is I just went ahead and used the same product that I used to do the wheel covers in black, where I just used that Plastidip on that back license plate mount, which just kind of blacked it out. It was silver and shiny, it just didn't match. So that was easy job. So the first thing on the review I want to talk about is the service. That's what everyone asked about. I've actually had quite a few service appointments, most of which have occurred in the driveway, which is very convenient, but there has been quite a few. So I just want to run those down with you guys, because this is the truth of buying a car from a software company, basically, right? First appointment I had was here in the driveway, and it was to level the door trim. Now, as you can see, it looks pretty great. Looks good on both sides. Also, my speaker on the right side. So this speaker right here, this right here was lifted way up. There was a big gap down here, and I just didn't feel comfortable kind of smashing it down or clipping it back in place. It looked like that's all it needed. And in fact, that is exactly all it needed, because he came and just smashed it down and it fixed it. The biggest issue I've been having with the car is the charging pad. It has never really worked right. I'd lay my phone on it, it would charge for a few seconds, and then it would stop charging. And then a few minutes later, it would just start charging, and then it would stop charging. It was quite annoying. It was cutting in and out. That was 3 different service appointments overall, but what they ended up doing was they had tried replacing the pad, the charging pad itself, which clearly didn't work. But they replaced, I guess, the USB unit that it all plugs into, which includes the power that it draws, and that fixed it. So they're wondering if maybe there was a bit of a power supply issue to the charging pad. Either way, it got fixed. I also had a service appointment for my right pillar cam. That's going to be the camera that's used with autopilot. It's this camera right here. That camera was coming up with a lot of errors saying, you know, the camera is blocked or blinded, cannot use your full self-driving, auto lane change, whatever, won't work. I have seen people that got it fogged up. It never fogged up. It just, they said in wintertime you have to pre-warm the car. I was doing all that. Anyway, they came out in the driveway and replaced that pillar cam. Problem solved, never had it again. Another thing that was kind of weird they had to do, and I was impressed they did this in the driveway, on this rear interior rear quarter panel, this door right here, there was a mark here that was getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and it was looking like something was pushing through the plastic. And I put in a service request, I put in a photo with it, and the guy came out and he replaced the whole thing. And what he said is when those door panels go on, they have plugs and holes that they all plug into, and one of them missed. So it was literally protruding through the plastic, fading out the plastic. So he replaced it. The last service appointment I just had this week was to replace the windshield. When I was driving along the highway and a large piece of metal came flying out of a scrap metal truck. Pretty loud, pretty scary. Ended up getting the guy to pull over and told him the story, and he wasn't too convinced that it was from his truck, but I said, come on inside the car, and I had showed him the video, and very clearly, as you can see, it's a huge piece of metal coming out. So he was very gracious, nice guy, and he said, no problem, I'll pay for it. That's my fault. The cost was about 1,750 Canadian dollars. I can say out of all these things, none of it has ever cost me any money, except for the windshield, which the other fellow paid for. And they have been very gracious with loaners. If I ever needed a loaner, they gave me a loaner. But again, most of the time it's happened in the driveway. For the overall review of the car, of living with it, daily driving, charging, we talked about service. The car has been really, really awesome. We don't think we could probably buy anything other than a Tesla now. I know I did a video on our favorite features, and basically they all still remain our favorite features, but it's a lot easier now after 10 months and over 12,000 miles to know what are really the top features you couldn't live without. Basically, what's stopping me from buying a conventional car. But we love the safety and security with the cameras, and of course when you're not in it, with Sentry mode, and the car overall being very safe. But the biggest one is the driving dynamics. When you switch over to our other car, which is a Murano, I run through stop signs because you forget that you actually have to switch to use the brake. You get very used to just using the gas pedal and kind of just tempering it so that you never really use the brake. And rarely do you use the brake. And that is something that is just so convenient. And then of course the large screen and the infotainment system with the GPS. The final one would probably be the autopilot. We recently drove about 2 hours to visit some family. Just the relaxing of the car, just driving for you, making safe, smooth lane changes around slower vehicles. It made the drive so enjoyable. It made it seem like it went so fast. So that would be the main three things. All of their stuff is just extra. The game, the fact that you can watch Netflix, that's all cool, but you could live without it. But the way the car handles, the speed and the pickup when you need it, the safety and the ease of driving with autopilot is unbeatable.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I just finished the trim ceramic coat, and I think it turned out really well. Has a nice dark, it looks a bit darker and has a nice kind of shine to it. Not too bright, but just enough to keep it nice and dark. And we'll see when it gets dirty, because especially in here, it gets, all the water runs down from the inside of the door. It gets quite dirty in there. So we'll see how it does after it gets dirty, but I think it looks nice. It's probably not something that anyone's gonna really notice, except for me, but you know, that's fine. Kind of a weird, you know, review slash trim ceramic slash update on what's going on here. I figure at least 2 or 3 of you care about what's going on. So there you go, there's the update. More to come. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, go ahead and like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I have a rather lofty goal of trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Probably won't happen, but if it does, that'd be cool. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see the next one in the Can-Am Tesla fam. Really, gotta get something shorter than that. That is just annoying to say. It's so long. That's what she said.